Hi. Just I said today instead of so I don't know if that counts. I was unconscious when I said it, so I'm gonna say it doesn't count. I failed today, but next time I'll say hello, and just hello hopefully, and leave the Quite a full-on day. I've been out and about, doesn't happen too frequently, in a quite almost work-like focus. I've not had that for quite a while. You know, like if you're going to work, you're sorry, this is probably going to make people motion sick, but you're all used to it now. I'll do my best to keep it like a GoPro where I'm just in focus all the time, but maybe I can rest it, and that way it'll be easier for you. Right, let's do this. There we go. Put the light there. I can stand here. Right, look at my halo. It's coming down from. I can't. I was going to go and I can feel myself slipping into a tone I've been in for the past few days, which is like you'd call it lunacy, I suppose, if you saw it from the outside. But it's my attempt to have kept myself positive, so like a slightly sarcastic tone to reality. It's my attempt to have kept myself positive through difficulties. I don't know if it picks it up on the on my phone, speaking from over here, but yeah. And I allow myself to do that, but I know it's not healthy, and it needs to be kept to a minimum. So I really want to. You're seeing me censor myself in everyday life. So if you ever go through a hell similar to mine, because I'm sure we've all got our own, there's a little tip for you of how you can get yourself through a tough period for a day or two, but only for a day or two. Full on day. I had a very positive meeting this morning with the support team, which really hasn't taken place. Largely through circumstance this year. My circumstance, nothing to do with the community team, but it was the right time today, at least the right time today. I don't think it would have been appropriate any time sooner. And I left there and almost straight away, boom, you know. I can still hear it coming through, so I'm gonna be consciously changing the way I speak, because I really need to get it away from verbalising. That's what I have to do with my mental health, just monitor stuff and just make sure what I do or what I can control is as appropriate to the situation as possible, because I'm well aware that my circumstance has very much been affecting other individuals. When I go for a walk down the street and I'm shouting effing and blinding, or when I'm at home effing and blinding, and occasionally banging the walls. So I have to, all I can really do within that is do my best all the time. And saying it now, I sort of realise I've got to find a way to really embed into my own consciousness that doing your best all the time actually means taking your foot off the pedal. And if ever, I'll explain what I mean, I'll elaborate on that, but taking the foot off the pedal from doing your best all the time, because you can live there, and I live here. I live in that state of doing my best all the time and failing non-stop. And I've got to that place where I know it in myself, you know. I know I'm doing my best all the time to my own detriment, but at the same time, doing my best all the time, I know I'm still inflicting upon neighbours, because I'm holding my own, something of my own self, and I'm trying to keep that alive. But ultimately, doing your best all the time isn't a natural state when this is my life. You know, it's like, in nature, I can only imagine it would be like a Predator movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know, you're there, you have to do what you got to do, but you ain't gonna live there, man. You can't. Or at least if you do live there, you've got to realise where Predator is at its weakest. So the situation for myself is at its weakest, balancing everything out and seeing the places I could possibly take a chill pill for, and I can't do it. I've just realised, you know, I was going to say I need to take a chill pill and forget my neighbours for 5 minutes, but I can't, man. You know, it's like, it's not even my neighbours, it's myself. It's like, if I'm shouting and that particular time I take a 5-minute break, or a 1-day break, I forget my neighbours, and I actually relax within the madness. And when I'm shouting, just, I don't know, you can't enjoy it, but just surrender to it a bit. You know, just let yourself go, you know, fuck the neighbours, fuck everybody. All I can do is rest in the fucking shouting. Sorry about the language. But it's impossible, because ultimately there are consequences, you know. I could, God knows how many laws could be placed on me, and I'm not arguing that. You know, the police are full within their rights to have arrested me at numerous occasions by now. My neighbours would have, I'm sure more phone calls have gone into the police and ambulances and blah 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 over the time I've been here. But whatever they have, whatever harassment I've received back, I feel, well, no, it is not harassment, but whatever impact that's had on my life, my neighbours are well within their rights, and I'm only surprised that it hasn't happened more, given how I've been. But it doesn't make it right for me, you know. At the same time, I still have a mental health disorder, and I'm trying my best, and I'm killing myself trying my best. But that's where I got to rest. I've got to rest in doing my best, and there is going to be a constant state of edginess to that. But as I said, I couldn't forgive myself if on that occasion, on that rare occasion, police turn up at my door, and on that rare occasion I'm arrested because I'm breaking the peace or whatever. I'm not doing any harm to myself or others beyond noise, but that's a disturbance. And I guess that is how did I reference it earlier? The weakest point. In all of it, that's where I rest. Doing my best. Right? I'm doing my best. Seeing all the times where others could fault me and punish me to a certain extent without it directly being a punishment. It's just the circumstance, the situation, and the way I don't know if it's me, the way I've been brought up, relate to anybody else. It's just that surreal. But for myself, beyond one time, I mean, the amount of interactions I've had with the police over the past year alone, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 times. And beyond one occasion, I can't fault them, you know. It's not a pleasant experience, and it's very, very harsh for me to experience. But I can't fault the individuals there. So I know that my actions, my life, I've long passed my safe zone. You know, I give myself as much safety as possible in this world, because I don't know, that's my nature. I think that's how I've always been. I try and give myself as much, or at least when I have safety, to find that point in my mind for myself of what safety is, and is required in that situation. So, for instance, normally at night, I would not make any noise. Here, this is because from when I was brought up, I was very aware. My dad used to tell me not to be in the kitchen at night because it used to wake him up and annoy him. And I could always hear her. Now I think my hearing is very, very sensitive. I remember my mum, she gave me a nickname as a kid, satellite ears. It was like I could always hear things that they can't believe I could hear, or listen when I shouldn't really be listening. And even though I know all of that, and I think this is where I'm autistic, I think this is what autism is. You know, I've come to this property, this flat, and I know instead of floorboards being above me, I've got like a solid layer of concrete, both sides, up and down. I've got left and right, and I mean, just left. And that's my neighbours, up, down, left, and there must be insulation in there too. But for myself, I would naturally, and this is what I did at the beginning, or when my mental health isn't causing aggro, is that I would behave like I would have when I was like living at home with my sister above me, and my dad's complaining about noise in the kitchen. But that's a natural state, and I tell a lie. I know I give myself leeway, because what's happened is, with my life being so volatile at present, I've relaxed that. I've definitely relaxed that. what I mean by that is I partake in the same activities I could otherwise do quietly, that I know I could do quietly, given my mental health being low. But I think I fear my life would become so imprisoned within my own mind and the outside walls to my neighbours. I allow myself to do the tasks I know I can do quietly, and if noise comes out, then noise comes out. So that's where I take back, but as I said, I have to, you know, if I don't, my mental health's going to get worse. So this is, if I can't do regular activities and I'm constantly aware of my neighbours, and I'm going to shout anyway, it doesn't make sense to me to limit those activities. I need to give myself some life in terms of just functioning, and that's where I would otherwise take. But even in that, you know, I'm aware I'm making noise, and I'm constantly trying to do my best to be quiet for them. And ironically, a policeman, once, at least one policeman has always said, you know, try and keep your neighbours in mind. And if it wasn't so present before, it definitely is now. And I'll be honest, you know, given the nature of my mental health and how I've got to my point, and as I said, I blame most of the world for my mental health, because I believe most people are aware more of my circumstances than myself. But it's a two-way thing, you know. I fully know I have to respect them as human beings, and ultimately whatever that thing is that stops them or you or whoever saying to me, look, we all know, yeah, we know, you know, and you know we know, and blah blah blah. I know there's love behind that. That in my mind, my perspective is, I hate all of you, but I know beyond the lack of communication to myself that would heal myself, and the hatred I hold towards everybody is held in mind. It's not an active hatred, and I'm still able to be very polite because that's the way I've been brought up and what's instilled in me as a way to act. And I know it's a way to behave that creates most ease. And when I can, I will be that way. Obviously, with pressure and everything, I can be somewhat away from that, but that is the crux, you know. It's like, right, this is the basis of how I interact, and I've got this pressure today. So when I'm in the shop and I'm served by someone and they're very polite to me, and I walk away and just like give them a snap look, that to me is because that's the best I can do in that moment, and I'm actually trying my best to be polite. Believe it or not, because that's what I would otherwise do, man. What are you gonna kick up a fuss for with anybody? What you want aggro for? And it's probably why spirituality gave me this job of this insanity, because I'm able to do this. It's not. I can't imagine this isn't an easy thing to do, but hey man, I don't know. It's just from my perspective. But yeah, no, I have to rest in always doing my best. So yeah, I left earlier today. I left the meeting, and pretty much straight away my physical body gave out, and it felt like I was walking like a goat or something. My legs had turned backwards, and it was very it wasn't just my imagination, it was like my body had somehow seized into that position. But I'm aware that's a condition with mental health, and from a spiritual perspective I know that's linked to Kundalini. Ironically, this is where one of the early books I read when I got into spirituality about mental health, and how Kundalini energy, or an unbalanced Kundalini energy, is responsible. And as I said, I had a Kundalini experience when I was around 20, so it could be just it could be spirituality giving me the job at that time. Here, Andreas, this is your job. Go and chill out for 10 years. 10 years? 4 years, 3 years, 3.5 years. Yeah, go and chill out for 3.5 years, 3 1/3 years. And we'll be waiting for you. We'll be waiting for you to start tuning and prodding your Kundalini and all that sanity you reckon you've got. Watch it go through the roof and through the floor and out the sides. I need to get that tone out of my voice. So it's really weird, because in the moment when you're experiencing your body, and to all the doctors, I'm going to allow you to think what you want. To everybody else, it's real. My body contorted and my legs went a different way, and I was walking like a goat. And the pain I wasn't able to tap into the pain, but the pressure and the discomfort was very real. And in the moment you think it's impossible to accept. It's like, I could be stuck this way for the rest of my life. What the hell is going on? Anyway, I got on off 3-4 different buses, and all the way through I was applying my knowledge towards posture that I've been taught by my uncle, and it eases, and then you think, right, you reflect on your life and you think, right, this is the situation, there's nothing I can do. How can I tell the hospital that my Kundalini's a bit out of whack? Can you retune it? No, that's not the world at present. So I've got to find a balancing point where I can do my best to my physical body changing shape and being an unpleasant experience. That's all that matters, really. If it wasn't an unpleasant experience, if there wasn't no discomfort, I'd say sod it, you know. That is exactly my mindset to life. If it's not unpleasant and it doesn't feel bad, it doesn't really matter. But this did, and it has been ongoing, and I think it's really, as I said, the first time I've been out of the house with a different energy today, and that energy is a normality, isn't it? For myself, it's normality. I find that more normal than what I experience now. As much as I would probably like to do it a different way, that is closer to normality than my life here. To what we all know as normal. But if I've been experiencing the same sort of things at home now for about 4 weeks to 6 weeks. I don't actually know, I forget, it could be longer. It's like I wake up in the morning and my legs go like that, and to be honest, I think they're like that most of the time. But my mental health disorder hides the discomfort. And when my mind returns, like after the meeting I was quite sharp. It was like, okay, well, this is what life is, this is where we're going, blah blah blah. A lot of the stress was removed and I'm back to normal. But my mind is back to normal, but my body is all twisted. And then the discomfort really hits. So we'll see how I'm gonna handle this one. We'll see how I'm gonna handle this one, because I feel like I'm trying to push into the direction of getting my life back on track, and if I'm back on track, I'm going to be going out the house more than one day every blue moon. I guess I've got to put priority to exercising, to really getting back into some training. There we go, just remembered the hip tapping. It's one of the first videos I made. I taught you all how to hip tap. So from the autism, no, not from the autism, from the Tourette's, which ironically just returned because I've been out the house. I guess it's the stress sort of, I don't know, something, I don't know, it just comes and goes. But either way, I've got about a million different ways, not a million, let's just say 20. I've got about 20 different real problems with life. And that's just a figure I've plucked out of nowhere, so it could be more, it could be less, I have no idea. But if you can imagine yourself with real life problems, and like a few of them, and each one really requires a different focus or a different energy, a different way to handle it at its best. And I seem to have had about 5 today, 5 of those problems from one to another. It's like I get back on track and everything changes and a different problem presents itself. I get back on track, a different problem presents itself, and I've returned from the shops, Poundland. Seems to be my 3rd home now. And for myself, that's quite an achievement. And I don't know if I was positive or something, and I had a different problem slap me in the face, say, you're too positive, tone it down a bit. But I returned back, and the situation was like, forget feeling sorry for myself on an emotional level, man. My emotions are dead. I'm talking about feeling sorry for myself from a mental perspective. You know, I'm looking at my life and I'm thinking, this just ain't right for a single human to experience. And it was kind of like that. So there's almost feelings of feeling sorry for yourself, but it's not feelings first. It's a mental thing. And I apply it to every human being, and that's why I allow myself to experience it, because otherwise, who knows where I'll go, you know? If I don't start setting if I don't start being real, and that's where I'm saying But my perception of life up until now, and my perception and understanding of the world, and I know myself from my life, I give myself the right to feel sorry for myself in that instance, even though it's a daily practice for me to not feel sorry for myself as a way to health. But when things are that bad, I've got to be real, you know, as I said, otherwise and that's what I picked up this video for, this camera, the phone. And you've heard me rant in this whiny voice because I've got some mucus stuck in, I don't know, some part of my body, and it makes my voice like this, makes my breathing hard as well, and it's probably probably a big reason to why I have mental health problems, but because this happens often. And I think it's to do with my vagus nerve, and then we get onto cryotherapy, and then we get onto society, and I know you all know about vagus nerve restriction and other people coming into your hearts as an experience of life and spirituality. Again, doctors, I can rephrase it in a different way for you if you really want to know in the future, but I'm speaking to my spiritual friends right now. Well, I'm speaking to the doctors too. I know you're aware, but you're not aware. And to be honest, there's no point speaking to that because it's a waste of energy. So hey, I've calmed down a bit, managed to do a little bit of tidying up. I'm going to end the video because I want to get on.